Good afternoon, gentlemen. All right, so we're going to have a 30-minute talk. And our topic, it is, there you go. What's next after Metaverse in the crypto space? As you can see above, we have our panel discussion. And we have our lovely guest speaker sitting here with us, Mr. Igneus, Lokesh, Laura, but she's not here right now. I'm taking over. Mr. Craig, John, and Sajeev. So welcome. And I'll be taking my seat. And Laura's here.
Sorry, please.
No problem. Please.
Thank you very much. Apologies, I'm being late. I got lost here. It's a huge venue.
It's all right.
Am I here?
Yes,
Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the second day of the conference. I had a chance to go over some booths, see such an amazing product, such an amazing event. So welcome, everyone. And I think we should start by asking our amazing panelists to do a bit of introduction. Why don't you go first?
Thank you. Let me see if I can.
I think we can share.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Hello, everyone. My name is Igneus Terrenus. I'm the head of communications at Bybit. Bybit is one of the world's largest crypto exchanges in terms of website traffic volume. It's #3 in the world for 5 months in a row now. And we are very happy to be the titanium sponsor of this event. We visited here 6 months ago, and the atmosphere was just electric. So that's why we're here again today. This year we brought our NFT marketplace, a showcase outside. So when you come in and see the most colorful booth, that's us. And yeah, stop by, say hi. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for hosting this event. Lokesh, please, could you do a bit of introduction?
Hello, everyone. I'm Lokesh Rao, CEO and co-founder of Trace Network Labs. I have worked for almost 12 years with the fashion industry, helping the global brands to streamline their supply chain. And from 2018, I've been building enterprise solution for businesses. And now we built up Trace Network Labs, which is enabling real-looking meta twins and lifestyle for them in metaverses, powered by NFTs and digital fashion.
Thank you. Craig?
Hi, my name is Craig Wilson, and I work for Unigrid.org. We are building a decentralized internet, and I'm a very strong believer that the metaverse needs to be completely decentralized and, well, honestly, be built on our internet. I also work with marketing and some biz dev for the company as we're a startup.
Awesome. John?
Hi, yeah, I'm John from MarinaChain. We're actually working to build a decentralized data marketplace for the maritime industry, looking to make it more sustainable. Yeah, I'm currently working as the COO, handling all the operations and connecting with other blockchain projects in our ecosystem.
And last but not least, Ali?
Hi, this is Sajeev Nair. I represent Limoverse. We consider it as a metaverse for health and wellness. We are building a health and wellness ecosystem on blockchain, metaverse compatible. We already started our work in terms of giving a metaverse experience in the world of wellness to people around the globe.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And our panel today is, so what next in crypto after the metaverse? But if we're talking metaverse, is there really challenges that metaverse are having? Or will you think that within the next couple of years, it's just going to be something old, something boring, something next will come? So what are the biggest problems of metaverses these days? Lokesh, maybe you would like to start.
Okay. Before talking about the existing challenges of metaverse or what the possible solutions, the first thing, I met a cluster of people who were actually not even aware about what a metaverse is. So metaverse is actually extension of our real world into a virtual 3D space, wherein you are being represented by your avatar, and you can do almost everything which you are capable of doing in real world, and even things beyond that. Now, talking about the possibilities in metaverse, so I just give you an incident. Today in the morning, I was standing at my booth, talking to people, telling them how they can create a real-looking meta twin, their avatars, and how they're gonna use it across different metaverses, so which will become like a Google login for you if you're holding it as an NFT in your wallet. So there was a 10-year-old boy who was standing over there listening to me, and he came and he said, I want to make my real-looking avatar and want to have it as an NFT. So I just casually asked him, what are you going to do with this? So he was like, my grandmother, she lives in Texas, and if it is really possible that I can be in a place wherein she can see me and I can interact with her in a more immersive way, and if I can have that kind of experience, she would be the one who will be really happy. I'll get her avatar also made. And because my grandfather passed away last year, so like it is definitely going to be a very good experience wherein she can see me every day. So I said, yeah, that really makes sense. So he said, and another thing, if it is possible, I would also like to have my grandfather's avatar so that he can be part of our memories, like wherever if we are doing any kind of celebration in Metaverse, so he can be part of it. I said, that's emotional, but that's really good. So, and then he said, like, I'm a student, so, and I'm really influenced by Elon Musk, what he's doing. So if at this age I can do, I can learn about rockets and do all those kind of simulation, open it up in different components and understand about it. So I realized, like, this metaverse, it's going to be something which is definitely inevitable. Everyone, a person, a grandmother of age 80 and a guy who is just 10-year-old, everyone is going to be experiencing metaverse for different reasons. So, but what is the current state of metaverses? That's something which is right now creating a little bit a roadblock in that huge adoption. The current metaverses are a little bit close in economy, wherein every time you are going to experience a metaverse, you first have to create your avatar, which is like with standard faces or cartoon faces, which not other person can recognize. And then whatever you're buying over there as an NFT, it's not really, you're not sure that if you would be able to use the same in any other metaverse. So the interoperability, basically, that's a big problem right now in the metaverses, and that is needed to be addressed. So everything we own, whether we own our own avatar as an NFT or we own any other asset, say you are going to a metaverse to buy a branded jacket. So now you must have heard, like, H&M has opened a virtual store, and from there you can buy a digital clothes for your avatar. So if you are buying that, you would want to use it in other metaverses too, because you are going to be using hundreds of metaverse. You are having a business meet in one metaverse, and then you're suddenly jumping in another metaverse for a party. So all the assets which you are buying in different metaverses, you should be able to use it in other metaverses. So that kind of interoperability needs to come in place, and that needs to be solved. So that's I would say, like, it definitely we have just started seeing what are the possibilities now. Everyone, all the shiny brains, they are working on giving the solution to these kind of problems, and like we are solving this problem for the fashion side of business. I'm sure other people would be solving other areas.
I love what you're saying. Maybe one day there's going to be cross-chain metaverses, and you can jump from one metaverse to the other. And I think, John, you're listening very carefully. Maybe you have something to add.
Yeah, I really agree what basically what was mentioned about how metaverse isn't just like a single game or a single world. It's about being able to be cross-platform, right, and cross-chain even. So yeah, another thing that we're working on for MarinaVerse, which is our B2C product, is that we're working on making it really tie into the real world, because how basically the data marketplace we're creating, whenever a ship comes into the network and starts providing data to it, we're minting a mirror copy of the ship into our metaverse. And beyond that, it's basically the in-game performance of that NFT, of that game asset, is directly correlated to its eco-friendliness, its productivity, the productivity of the actual ship in the real world. So this adds that element of realism to it, the element of unpredictabilities. And yeah, and what we believe is that we can use this to raise awareness of, in that case, of the maritime industry, of climate change. But yeah, this can be extended to other projects out there.
I love it, thank you. And I think, Craig, you had something to add? And by the way, I love your pen. I must give you compliments.
Why, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, to kind of go off what Rakesh said, it's like it's not, there's not just one metaverse. Beyond common belief, Meta does not own the metaverse. That's like saying Meta owns the internet. I'm aware of platforms too that are where everybody's going to be able to build their own metaverse. It's going to be kind of small and only some capabilities, but eventually we're all going to be using it. It's going to be, I think, as synonymous as like having your own social media profile. It's going to be very, very similar. And in fact, in my world, like I think of the metaverse as like an extended social media presence, except it's with avatars, and you're going to be able to do and interact a little deeper and a little bit more. Yeah.
I love it. So currently, all the metaverse is being dominated by independent creators. And big brands are still discovering what is out there. So Igneus, what do you think, how the metaverse will change, establish, and or maybe even die out when big brands will start coming in and it's going to become basically mainstream?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I don't think Metaverse is necessarily going to be dominated by like large corporations, and I think that is actually a perversion of Web 2. So, well, the original promise and the original vision of the internet was to create a level playing ground for everyone to transact and to communicate with one another on a peer-to-peer level without some central kind of like power rent-seeking players such as Google and Facebook like taking a share out of it. When people tend to conflate the internet with the web, and when like Web 2 came about and brought us the amazing thing that is known as social media, everyone jumped onto the bandwagon. But really, when we look at it, we basically sold our privacy for some of the actions like the poking, and we don't really even do those things in real life, but like we decided that this is how we're going to interact with one another, and at what cost we gave away our privacy. We became the products of those centralized rent-seeking feudalistic lords and sold our data in package to advertisers. What I think Web3 and Metaverse promises is to give power back to the individual, allowing the individual full control as to their privacy, as to their own data, as to how they want to present themselves. So in real life, we can pretty much only do like 2-3 costume change a day. That's a little excessive already, whereas in the Metaverse, you can basically change your shoes, your eyewear, your everything for every meeting. And I think Metaverse occupied this niche. It's almost like when Starbucks first came about. So you have the home, you have the office, and then we needed a third place where we can meet with people. So Starbucks, like, people don't really go there to order coffee, at least I don't. Like, we go there to meet with people, we go there to walk. It creates kind of like a neutral place where meetings can happen, where, people can interact with one another, whereas Metaverse can do the same thing, because we, after 18, 24 months of pandemic, we can really use like a more interactive way in our online presence, and Zoom is not going to cut it. So in a way, Metaverse promises this way that we can walk with one another, we can interact with one another in more of an impersonal level, and we are able to express ourselves with more dimensions, with more personalities through the use of NFT, through the use of Metaverse fashion. And even though it feels like some of those promises are still far away, but like there's just so much promise, and I think it's going to be the ideas that win out, not who has the biggest budget when it comes to mega corporations.
Awesome, thank you for sharing that. And I think so far we can agree that probably Metaverse is going to stay and still going to be an important part of all blockchain crypto community, but it will change and shift somehow in some different capacities, multi-metaverses, maybe Metaverse 2.0. But then let's talk NFTs. Everyone's talking NFTs, and they all started out as these simple pictures without any meaning, but then it becomes communities, it becomes tokens that have some kind of value. So Sajeev, what do you think about NFTs and the future of them in the crypto?
Yeah, interestingly, whenever we think about Metaverse, I think we cannot think about Metaverse without thinking about NFTs. Like what Lokesh said, your avatar, which is going to represent you in the Metaverse, and the moment you talk about your avatar, the possibilities are unlimited. Like what he was talking about, the costumes or the gears, there are so many possibilities out there. Right now, maybe when we think about NFTs, most of the people think about pictures, paintings, and all those kinds of things. But I think the world is going to change in a completely different way. And there will be more interesting and useful methodologies which will be emerging in the NFT space when we adapt Metaverse. I really don't know whether Metaverse is something which is going to be adaptable to all industries. I really don't know, which needs to be explored more. But of course, the industry in which we are in, that is health and wellness, especially wellness, we see a huge possibility of Metaverse and also combined with NFT. I'll just give you a few, projects we are working on. We are working on something like, giving someone an experience of sitting in their home and doing a meditation, but at the same time, they get the same experience as if they are doing it on the Himalayas. Or, they want to do a yoga, but at the same time, how about doing that yoga on the Hawaiian beaches? That's all possible in this space now. About when it comes to to that extent, our technology team has come to an extent they have found out some technology development which is already happening. When we were having the brainstorming session, that one of our team members was asking that, okay, fair enough, I want to meditate inside the middle of a jungle. I know that you can provide me a five-dimensional experience for that in the Metaverse using an XR glass. Now the question was, how about getting the fragrance of the woods, which is possible? That's very exciting because that technology has already come out. So that means it's a 5 senses. All senses can be easily being connected to the world, this Metaverse. Now, coming to NFT, beyond the paintings or the different types of things, what's happening right now where people are looking at these things and saying that, what is this, yaar? Is this really having some value? But I think in the NFT space also with Metaverse, you're going to see that happening. Now think about that fragrance which I spoke about, which can be an NFT. Think about a recipe book, which we are doing right now. Some people prepare, health drinks which are secret recipe, which can be an NFT, okay? And there is a very interesting project on which we are working in India. There are so many secret, the natural healing mechanisms. There's a research company which is already working on it, and they've got close to about 200,000 such secret healing, natural herbal-based healing mechanisms, and out of which we are actually converting 100 into NFTs. So these are going to be where till this time, the healers were keeping it secret. Now that they can do it because they have that privacy, they have that coding, they have the encryption. They know that even if it is getting solved from one person to another person, still they can build in a royalty. So I think with the Metaverse, the NFT space is going to be explosively growing.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to add about the NFT role in the future?
Yeah, sure. Oh, thank you, Rakesh. I really believe that NFTs are completely being miscategorized. NFTs are not just art. It's really, when you get down to it, it's software that artists get to create and develop. Because when you look deep into the NFT space, there's AI NFTs that are roaming around. There are NFTs that can interact with the real world, and I really believe that within, if you take a look at Ukraine released NFTs to raise money. So in a way, they're also a form of currency. So when you take all of that information and you apply it to the Metaverse, there are a ton of things that haven't even been invented yet where NFTs will apply specifically to the Metaverse. I believe that all of it is going to work together. Crypto, NFTs, and the Metaverse are all going to be one in one, all part of the same thing. There are NFTs that that interact with the real world. So like there's an an NFT, like let's say that you have a bunny that's sitting in front of like a rolling hills. Well, when the bunny smiles in the real world, the crypto market might be going up, or Bitcoin might be going up. And when the bunny frowns, Bitcoin may be going down. If you imagine those things as just like pictures in the metaverse, they're almost like, the only thing I can really compare it to is like a clock. Like if you know how to read it, you can understand what's going on in the other verse, the meat space, so to speak.
I love it. And then let's talk AI, big data, cloud, IoT. Do you think these technologies will take over after the metaverse and crypto space will maybe dominate it and they will have some kind of new things happening? What are your thoughts on that? Who has the most ideas about it? Let me pick Lokesh.
So definitely, like metaverses have now given, now it's something wherein all the mature technologies have converged together, and to give that kind of experience. Like for example, if I talk about AI, I will be represented by my avatar. So what I would be saying, my avatar would be, doing some kind of gestures based on what I'm talking. So now that is only possible with the AI. If my speech is getting converted into gesture, what exactly I'm trying to say on my microphone, my avatar is actually doing the gestures according to it. If I'm talking something which is funny, my avatar is also smiling. If I'm talking something, so it's all about like with what you are saying, your voice command, it's getting converted into some kind of gestures on your avatar. So AI has got a role over here. Similarly, the data kind of requirement which is required on the fly, that's where the big data comes in play. And cloud storage, definitely, it's like decentralized cloud storage it's a demand at this point of time wherein you can control over who can see your NFT content and how you want to control it, to whom you want to collaborate it. So that's where a decentralized cloud storage definitely plays a big role. And talking about IoT, it's something like I can see a massive implementation of IoT via metaverses. Like for example, I was talking to one of the factory. They wanted to create their virtual factory in the metaverse, wherein all the setup exactly how their factory is being set up. They wanted to establish in metaverse because they wanted to control the physical factory via the metaverse. Now, their basic example I'm telling you because you will be able to relate. Like for example, in the garment factory, you have so many machines working on, and a lot of automation is happening on those factories. If you want to change any parameter from the metaverse itself, you can make those alignment changes, and automatically in the physical factories that would be implemented. So that's where IoT is also something which is going to get a quite interesting role via metaverses.
John?
Yeah. Also, just to add on, like the amount of data that we're producing as a species, as like in the IT industry, in the tech industry, is increasing exponentially, and it's quite apt because as we're talking about NFTs, it's all about digital ownership, right? And right now, the ownership of the data that we're producing, like majority of it is being very centralized, all in big tech. They're capturing all the value that is being produced from it, like in terms of ad revenue, in terms of insights, data for training AI models. But what Web3 is bringing to the table is that, we can start looking into how we can decentralize the value capture of this data, especially now that IoT is coming on board and chips are getting more and more ubiquitous. Microchips are all around in the edge computing space. A lot of this, we're going to start to see a lot of marketplaces coming on board to distribute the value into in a more equitable way.
Awesome. As we're running in the last 5 minutes, I want to do something different. I want to each one of you ask one question. Imagine you'll have to have your last investment. You have to make one investment into some new technology that you think is going to be the biggest one in crypto space within the next 5 years. What would you be investing in? Igneus, I'm putting you on the spot here.
Technology. Well, personally, I'm very passionate about combating climate change. So definitely like something like carbon capture or something that can directly help us with addressing this climate disaster. And I think, you know, like we have something similar to kind of like, you know, carbon credit, but I think that is not enough. Like one of the things that we see is, you know, maybe you're buying some carbon credit there, but the loggers can just cut down some trees elsewhere. This is maybe where blockchain and you know other technology can come in as well. You can monitor, you can really assess that just the progress of such work as well. And you know, NFT is a lot about ownership and bragging rights as well as they are tradable assets and potential financial instruments. And I think, you know, basically all the technologies that we just discussed could play a role. And we really should be thinking about addressing the tough problems, the biggest problems, because if we don't do it, then we're kicking the can down the road to our own peril.
Thank you very much. So climate change, basically, NFTs, these are the two picks, correct? Lokesh, what about you?
I would be, I mean, I'm definitely doing it. It's not like I'm imagining. It's like I would be investing my time in developing experiential commerce in the metaverses. Like that's something, I think that's the only reason why everyone would want to go in a metaverse. Otherwise, there's no point. Today, we are, you know, just let's talk about 3 years back when there was no pandemic. So we used to hang out together with friends, families. Those are the experiences which we all are missing at this point of time. And I think you know, any industry which enables that kind of experience wherein you are able to see yourself going with your friends for shopping, or you're going with them to watch a movie in Metaverse, or you are able to you know, you want to go to several places which today you might not be able to go because of time or money for whatever reasons. Now, all these kind of experiences would be possible in Metaverse, and I think it's all about like working towards giving this experience to people, and that's why they would start living that life which they have been missing for such a long time. And especially everyone of us who are very far away, sitting in different geographies, but we want to connect together. So now that connection has to be built again. And I think Metaverse would do a fantastic, I mean, it's a blessing for the humanity. We all are like working towards building this digital human civilization, which is going to give us that experience, and it is going to fill that gap of missing that kind of connection with the individuals. So that's what is required to be enabled, and yeah.
So experiences for shopping, for entertainment, traveling to new places, and just living life to the fullest. I love it. Craig, what about you?
Well, you said in the next 5 years, right? So if you look at the trends in like Roblox, it's all the pre-teens that go into that metaverse, or you look at VR chat, and you get all the teens in their early 20s that go into that metaverse. Personally, I would invest in a metaverse that's built on a decentralized internet, like 100%, because I think that's where it's all slowly leading towards. And so the only way currently is to invest in land, but I don't know that I would invest in land in a metaverse quite yet. I would come in and build my own company, probably something along what Rakesh just said, like along the shopping platform, because I think there's going to be a lot of shopping done. There's going to be a lot of interactions done. And if you know, I don't know if anybody has kids or like plays Roblox, but I know kids that ask their parents for $100 gift cards, $50 gift cards to go buy fashion just so they can show off in front of their other 12-year-old friends. So I think that's definitely where the space is moving towards.
So we're also going with fashion, with lifestyle. Awesome. John, what about you?
Yeah, I'm very much a proponent of climate impact and climate change as well, because I believe like in the next 5 years, it's going to be very crucial for us to raise that awareness and help us to really visualize what are the key industries we want to impact as like even as consumers and retailers. So I very much I like to very much believe that the metaverse can be used as a tool for good to raise awareness for the things that have been under the radar. And yeah, so basically I put my money with projects that aren't very conventional and aren't like just doing whatever everyone else is doing, but basically delving into new concepts and new industries that the average consumer hasn't seen before.
So bringing awareness, showing different things. Okay, amazing. Sajeev, last but not least.
We are already into the field of empowering people to take charge of their own health and well-being so that they can live a long, productive, healthy years, contributing the best to their society. Now, that's our mission with which we work on the Limoverse. And I would rather say that I'll put all my energy, resources, everything into it to see that right now everyone knows that your first 25 years goes in education and all those things, and our next 25 years goes in gaining experience and expertise. So, and most of the people by that time get contracted with one or other lifestyle diseases. And the time you start contributing, you must have already lost your energy and you must have already been fatigued. So I would rather say our effort has been, and we wanted to put that effort forward in the world of Metaverse, primarily to extend that productive years for the next 25 years. That means from 50 to 75, how someone can be very productive, because that's the time they can contribute to the best. This is possible by bringing in absolute motivation and inspiration for people to stay healthy, and which is possible in the Metaverse, because if I can do exercise in my home, and today I feel like I'm doing it in the Gold Coast, and tomorrow I'm going to do it in the Hawaiian beach, and third day I'm going for a trekking in the Amazon forest. That's where I see the possibility, and that's where I'm going to put my energy and money into. And that's where I think that we're going to visualize the world where health really becomes wealth.
So health, longevity, wellness, I love it. And if I can add 2 cents of my own, I run a marketing agency. So I think one thing we'll definitely need is people and talent, because all these amazing things, what the panelists are saying, what you guys building audience, that's great, that's amazing. And probably these are going to be the people that are changing the world. But we need more hands, more resources, and education. Having more people definitely is going to be a priority to build whatever next is going to be big. So I think now our amazing panel is entitled to a big round of applause. Thank you, everyone.